English tenses, for so many people, they feel like this impossible puzzle. But what if I told you there's actually a pretty simple logic behind them all? In this explainer, we're going to crack that code together. So let's get right into it.
Does this feel a little familiar? I mean, with 12 different tenses to juggle, it is so easy to feel completely overwhelmed. It's a super common hurdle, but trust me, there's a clear logic we can unlock here.
So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to use real-world examples to see how these tenses actually work in conversation. Let's ditch the dry, boring rules and make this practical, clear, and something you can actually use.
First up, let's talk about telling stories. I want you to forget the abstract grammar rules for just a second. Think of tenses as your secret weapon for building a great narrative. They're what lets you move your listener through time, to the past, the present, or the future of your story.
Okay, so let's start with a really simple story. Imagine you hear this. When I turned 30, I decided to take my first solo trip. The two key verbs here, turned and decided, well, they're our first big clue. They lock the story into a very specific time. And this is the perfect example of the past simple. We use it for actions that are totally, completely finished. The 30th birthday? That's over. The decision? It was made. They are completed events in the past. Simple as that. Okay, now let's add a little backstory. I had never been anywhere alone before. See what that does? It adds this whole new layer of context. It tells us something important that happened before the decision to travel was even made.
And that right there is the exact job of the past perfect. It's kind of like a flashback in a movie, It shows an action that happened before another past event, which helps us put our story in the perfect order.
So, the decision is made, the plane ticket is booked, and now our character is dreaming about the future, imagining the trip. This time next week, I will be wandering the streets of Budapest.
This is the future continuous. And honestly, it's all about painting a picture. You're not just saying what you will do, you're describing an action that will be happening, that will be in progress at a very specific moment in the future. It just makes the story so much more vivid, doesn't it?
Okay, so let's shift from a big, once-in-a-lifetime trip to our daily routines. Tenses aren't just for epic stories, they're absolutely essential for talking about everyday things, like our habits versus things that are just temporary.
This slide shows such a great contrast. Over on the left, I usually eat fruit for breakfast is a habit, right? It's something that happens regularly. So we use the present simple. But on the right, at the moment, I am having porridge. Well, that's just a temporary thing, perfect for the present continuous.
Oh, and here's a fantastic pro tip for you. When you're talking about something that happened like just a moment ago, British English speakers will often use the present perfect. He has just finished. But in North American English, you're way more likely to hear the past simple. He just finished. The cool thing is, both are correct. It just depends on where you are.
All right, here's another really important concept, stative verbs. Words like love, need, or want describe states or feelings, not physical actions. So we typically avoid using them with those ing continuous tenses. Now, you might hear I'm loving it in a jingle or in super casual speech, but it's best to stick to the standard rule for formal writing or, your exams.
Okay, let's shift gears again. We've gone from personal stories to objective facts. Tenses are absolutely crucial for accurately describing scientific truths, ongoing changes, and natural processes.
Time for a little quiz. Take a look at this sentence. The Sahara Desert expands for thousands of years. What do you think? Does that sound right to you? Is it correct or incorrect?
So, it's actually incorrect. And here's why. Because the process started way in the past and is still happening right now, we need a tense that can bridge that huge gap in time. The present perfect continuous has been expanding, captures that ongoing action perfectly.
And get this, here's another fascinating fact. Mount Everest is growing by about 4 millimeters every single year. So to describe this kind of gradual, ongoing change, we use the present continuous. Mount Everest is growing.
Now, what about those hypothetical what-if scenarios? Well, the second conditional is perfect for that. It has a super simple two-step formula. Step 1 is the unlikely situation, where you use if plus the past simple. And step 2 is the imaginary result, using would plus the base verb. It's your go-to for exploring possibilities.
Phew, okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's wrap all this up and put these concepts into your own personal grammar toolkit.
So if you remember anything from this, let it be these 3 core ideas. Use simple tenses for things that are done, that are complete. Use continuous tenses for things that are in progress or temporary. And use perfect tenses to build a bridge, to connect 2 different points in time. If you can get these 3 down, you've mastered the foundation.
Because at the end of the day, tenses are not just a bunch of boring grammar rules. They're like the colors on an artist's palette. They let you paint these incredibly vivid pictures with your words. Every single tense tells a different story. So the real question is, what story will you tell next?